everyone. Welcome to Voltino. Today is our big live on gel ombre. This is our subject for today is gel ombre. And in the gel ombre, we're gonna learn 4 different type of ombre. We're gonna learn sponge ombre, brush ombre, vertical ombre, and aura ombre. So let me connect to myself first. We're gonna do double screen. It's www.tinovo.shop, and I will put Kyla information on. Kyla phone number is 417-772-4020 for any shopping or shipping question or collaboration or website question. All right, let's turn over. Today I feeling like I want to start with a pink background. So we're going to choose this pinky pink right here for our background today. And we will have our palettes ready. Okay. And the main ingredient today that we have to have is ombre sponge. So we have our ombre sponge here with us. So first, let's go on to brush ombre first. Okay. So for brush ombre, we're gonna do 2 styles. One is pink ombre, and 2 is white ombre. And the first technique is using brush. So I am gonna take out my ombre brush right here. I'm gonna use that. And nail polish. So I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of a new gel polish. It's colors, but it's not on the website yet. It will be on the website hopefully tomorrow. Okay, so first I am gonna mix pinks and pigment base together. Apply 50% of pigment base and 50% of pink. And I'm gonna use my engraver and mix it together. Okay, and I just wanted you to know that this is an organized live. So I will respond less to comment or question because I have to make sure that our viewer is not distracted. So I am gonna pin it right down here. All right, now for this, I am going to start out. Let's ask for more pink. Let's make it a little pinker. Okay, so first technique are easy. However, you have to have proper products. If you don't have proper gel, it will be very hard for you to ombre. I suggest for the tip, you can use an opaque colors. But for the ombre part, you have to use a semi-transparent colors. Okay. Now I am gonna take some acetone and clean my polish brush just to remove the original colors that is already have. Then wipe it. Then I am going to apply on just the tips, about more than half. So more than 50% of the nails will be in pink. Now, after this, I will take my ombre brush, and if you want your ombre brush to be a little more even, then you can take out some clear texture gels. Remember to stir this up once in a while, you guys. Okay. Put it down and wiggle. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggles. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggles. So it's more even now. You know, all the hair follicle is spreading out now. It's more even than before. So I am gonna have a few more strokes to stroke away the gels, because you don't want too much gel on. You just want it to be a little wet on the surface. Then this is how you're gonna ombre. Becky, can you turn your hand over for me, please? Thank you. All right. Now from here, I am gonna stroke down 3 millimeters. Okay, that is how I blend down. So I'm making it thinner. Now, when it's over, I'm taking a clean palette and I wipe up excess gels off my brush so it's nice and clean. I come back here. Now, I'm going to stroke it over again, but this time on a diagonal motion. So you want to crisscross it. It's easier when you do that for ombre. So I'm going to start all the way down here on the edge. You always start on the edge. Because I start up here and I blend it down 3 millimeters. You don't want to start up here again. You want to start all the way down here. And you're going to continue spreading it out. See how easy it is? Again, wipe your brush. All the color off your brush. Now, where do you start? You don't start up here. You start all the way down here. Always start to ombre at the edge. Because what ombre means is spreading. That's it. Plain and simple. So sometimes people mistake is that they start from up here, they blend down, and then they keep going up here with all the gel at. That is why it's never become an ombre. So for you to maintain the ombre, always start at the edge. Now, before you cure this, if you have too much excess gel on both sides and on the tip, you can do one of the two things. You can take out a spatula like this and clean them both on the side like that. Make sure it's nice and thin. That is your first step. Or you can also take your ombre brush and clean on both sides. Since an ombre brush is a semi-transparent brush, it's not solid. So you don't wipe off the gel. If you take out like a flat brush, you can easily remove the gel, and you don't want that. So an ombre brush is a perfect tool to make this thinner. See that? Take away all the excess gel at the end, but it doesn't take the gel completely away. So always remember to use an ombre brush for this part right here to keep the side and the tip nice and thin. Now cure this. So for the nude, I am going to use cream nude right here. Now, this nude is not an opaque nude. Okay, a certain percentage in it and a correct percentage in it that are clear. So what happened is this nude is amazing to do ombre with. Now it's already sold out. So after I finish demonstrating this nude, I am gonna show you how to make a nude that are proper for ombre. So first, let's use the nude to ombre. Let's do the same thing with white first. White 50% is pigment base I'm using. Stroke it all the way down. Then clean off my brush. Okay. Tell Becky to turn the hand over for me. Thank you. Now, blend it out. So remember, I stroke it down really thin, and then I turn, wipe my brush, and then I turn diagonally, stroke it down again. So you always start at the edge right here. See that? Now, clean on both sides. clean the tips too. Make sure it's nice and thin for you. Here. Hi. Now, here come the nude. Now watch, when I paint, I reach the edge and I keep on going. So I will get down more than half. See how beautiful this nude is? That's why it's already sold out. Because a lot of people love this nude, especially for ombre. This will be available in about 3 or 4 weeks. But when it's available, I will alert you on live stream so you can buy it in time. Remember to stroke it out all the way. See how beautiful this is? See how flawless? Here. I did the same thing with my white. So I call this brush ombre. With this technique, you have to have a proper gel polish. Without proper gel polish, it will be very hard to do. You find yourself sit there and try to brush it forever. I'm sure you end in that situation before when you try to do an ombre and you just discover yourself 30 minutes later still brushing on the same nails. You have to have proper product and proper brush for this. See how easy it is? Here. Do it again. About 2 times. Okay. Of course, on natural nail, you might get away with just 1 time, but this one is clear now. So I'm giving another one just to make sure that I remove all the transparency of the clear tips. Again, brush it diagonally, always crisscross it. Never brush it straight down, because if you brush it straight down, it's going to be very hard for you. You don't want that. You want to make sure that your life is easier. See that? Beautiful, done. Here. Now, with a fast and efficient technique doesn't mean that you have to charge less. An ombre service, you can easily charge about $30 or $50 more for your service. In a certain city, you can go up to about $80 extras. So depending where you live, but ombre technique is highly desired nowadays. It's sort of timeless, just like the French tip is. And ombre technique is still taboo for most people. I mean, everybody do ombre, but there's people that do ugly ombre and there's people that do pretty ombre. So ombre are still highly desired. Okay, stroke it all the way to diagonally to the right. Now stroke it diagonally to the left. Now, if your brush is too dry, you can wet it with a little top coat, but make sure it's not too much. Just a little bit. Cue that. Okay, now since I'm done, I am gonna matte 2 of this. So that is brush ombre. Again, ombre brush is very important and gel polish are very important. The gel polish down here, you can use whatever. You can use really opaque gel polish or gel pen, whatever you like. But up here, the ombre part is the most important part. You have to choose a semi-transparent gels, but not too transparent that is sticky neither. The percentage have to be correct. So before I go, I am gonna show you how to mix your own nude. Thank you, honey. Now, for you to mix your own nude, you need a few colors. You need a brown to start with. You need a white. to make the brown lighter. This is for making it paler. Then you need halo to make it brighter, to make it more yellow, more tanny looking. And you also need pink to make it warmer. So I am gonna deposit all this color out. Brown, white. Now this is an ombre nude, so it's very special nude. Pink, yellow. Okay, now the most important of it all is milky. It will be available soon. Okay, but tomorrow, hopefully. Cindy is in Florida. I already sent her the list. So milky, I'm gonna leave it on the side right here for later. So let's mix. Yes, and question and answer after the live. I will also open for question and answer too. So remember your question. If by the end of the live it's already been answered, then good. But at the end of the live, I will give you a few minutes to ask question. So brown here already. Now I am gonna take white. First, I need to put a top gel right here so I can see how to mix it. Okay, brown and white. Actually, I'm gonna put some turquoise in here too, just to make sure. Okay. So brown and white equal this. Let's add a little yellow to it to see. Now it's kind of warmish. Add a little pink just to give it a little blush. Ooh, this is a little too much pink. Let's rebalance it with brown and white. Okay. Now I am gonna use turquoise. What you do with green, blue, or turquoise is to dull down the colors, to take out the tone of it. Just a little more. Good. Just a tiny bit more yellow. Now I am gonna use milky. And milky very important because the percentage of semi-transparent milky are already calculated. This milky is way better than the my old milk top coat. This is perfect. This is gonna make it become unbreathable. Oh, yellow. A little more milky. Just like that. A little more yellow. A little more turquoise. You see these two nude right here? So what makes this a perfect ombre gels is milky, okay? That is for you to mix it for now, to learn how to mix it. Because right now our nude is sold out. So the one that have nude, congratulations. But the one that doesn't have the nude, you just have to make your own. And you need to know how to make your own to make it unbreathable, to make it perfect for ombre. All right, let's mat our nails that we just did. I'm gonna use mat it. So for this set, I on live on Monday and Friday, our normal live, I am going to make this set a pink rainforest. I'm gonna have like pink panthers and pink python. So I'm pretty excited about this. Okay, make sure mat all the way, and always watch out for your side. I often do this. I remove excess gel off my brush, then I go in for just the side, and people thought that I'm adding more gel, but really I'm just removing gel from the side and from the tip too. Here. Same with this. Okay, so first technique down. Now the second technique is more interesting. The second technique is the sponge technique. And for the sponge technique, you don't need proper product. You doesn't need a good ombre gel because all you need is a sponge. That's it. You can use any type of gel that you like for the sponge technique for ombre. Okay, cue this. Okay. So next one is sponging. So I will need 2 sponge. One for each colors. I'm gonna do 2 different colors. Okay. But this is gonna be the pink rainforest. So you learn your first technique on ombre. Now let's go to the second technique. So the second technique is using only sponge, and I am gonna make a pink and turquoise ombre, which is really difficult because, I mean, not really difficult, but a little bit difficult because turquoise is considered a greenish, and pink with green is kind of contrast-ish. So there gotta be a purple right here in the middle too. So it's more difficult, color-wise. And then I am gonna make a pink and white ombre, easy breezy. All right, so let's start.
This is a service announcement for the ladies who think that they're going to remember their questions.
Okay.
Because I'm bored, I'm screenshotting their questions because I'm not counting on their memories.
Oh, good.
This has been a...
Good. Okay. Now I already have pink nude on the side. For sponging, one important thing that you need to know is your surface needs to be porous. So I need my clear acrylic with me. Do you see the bottle of clear acrylic dusting?
Acrylic clip.
Clear acrylic.
There's one right here.
Yes. And another one.
I'll find it.
Oh, right here. Okay, so I'm using Jizo, and I'm just using any brand. You can use any brand of clear acrylic you want. Dipping powder, you can use that too, just as long as it's clear so it doesn't mess with your colors. Crystal clear will be perfect. I'm using my pink nude. You can use any nude you want. And I say this technique, you can use any color you want. You have so many gel polish, you can choose whatever to ombre. Because this doesn't require proper product, it requires proper tool, which is the ombre sponge. So you apply 1 thin layer onto the nails. If your gel requires 2 coats, then you apply the first coat first here, then you apply the second coat, and this is where you sugar this. So after I apply this down, I am gonna take out a tiny little spoon. Now, if you lay your nail flat like this and you pull acrylic on, what happens is some acrylic will fall off and some acrylic will be on the surface and it's gonna soak up all the gel and it will make the surface bumpy, which is not good for ombre. You need it all to be nice and even. So what you need to do is tilt it down like that, 45-degree angle. So whatever you pour on, it will come all the way up. And if you have a little bit linger on top, you have to tap your client fingers to make sure it's all fall off. And when you pour, you have to pour from left to right all the way. Don't just pour on one side like this. Don't just pour on one side like that. That means the left side will be a little more bumpier than the right side, which is not good neither. So the most important thing in sugaring is you have to till your nail. Second, you have to make sure it's all been sugars. The whole nail from left to right, all sugar, and it's all fall off. Remember this, it is very important when it comes to sponge ombre. Now, I am going to start applying sugar on this. Get rid of some excess gel on the tip first, on the side. Okay, so my gel is all nice and level. If your gel is non-cell level, it's not a good gel for this. You want a smooth gel. Then, till your nail down and watch. It's very important to use a big spoon because you want to pour from left to right, from right to left. Everything is poured down. See that? Nice and even. So the reason why you do this is it's going to make the surface porous, which is perfect for sponging gel on. But also it needs to be nice and even, because if it's not, guess what? Your ombre will be streaky too, and you don't want that. You want your surface to be even, so your ombre can be evenly airbrushed. Now cue this. I'm gonna do one more time for you. This time, watch carefully. Okay, now I'm gonna apply one coat of pink nude on. And always watch out for the side. I need to show you exactly what I did right here. I apply on the nails, then look at all the excess gel and remove it back into the bottle. So now it's nice and clean. See that? I go back and I remove gel from the left, return it to the bottle. I remove gel from the right, return it to the bottle, and I remove gel from the tip. All nice and shaped. See that? All nice and shaped. So it doesn't have left handle on both sides. Now, tilt it down 45-degree angle, or even more down if you want. Just make sure that everything got covered and everything is pulled from left to right, cover everything. And nothing stay on the surface. Make sure that it's all fall down, just like this. Just like that.
Did you already sugar this finger?
Yes. This is my second finger that I sugar. So now I have 2 sugar nails. I'm done with the acrylic. And if you want, if you begin at this and you're a little out of shape from applying gel too thick, then you can, before you sponge it, you can do a little shaping if you like. So you can do a little of that if you like. This one gonna be turquoise ombre. This one gonna be white ombre. And usually when I demonstrate by now, that should be question of how do you reuse your ombre sponge? So remember, be patient. I will get to that too. Remember, I cover every detail in my big life. Okay. So I'm cleaning the tools. And next week, I'm gonna teach line work. All right, so I have a clean palette. Now, what I need to do is to make my turquoise. So with this, I use turquoise and aqua, two of these colors. And I'm gonna mix them together. You don't have to mix. I just like to mix it because I like this shade. Turquoise and aqua. Now, when my color release, I have 12 different colors, but 12 different color, I have a mixing charge for you. Just simple mixing 50-50. So 12 different color kit, you can make 144 different colors. If you mix with black and white, then you have 168 different colors. So that is a very small investment, but you can have all the color you want. And I will have color chart ready for you.
And save workspace.
Yes. You need it to be compact because before I have so many colors on my shop but I find myself just go back and forth to just like 20 different colors. So that is my experience, is that nail tech doesn't need a whole room of color. Nail tech need a compact kit of color that you can make any color you want by just mixing 50-50, which is basic, which is a drop of that and a drop of this. That's it. Just 50-50. Anybody can do that. And you can have the whole salon in just on the palm of your hand, which is very useful. Now, let's mix turquoise and pink together. So I require my first sponge. I am going to put pink over here. And I am going to put turquoise over here. Okay. Another way that you can also do is to put it on your sponge directly. So either or on your sponge like this. And then you can use the ombre brush to ombre it out just a little bit like this. Just like that. So that is what you can do on your sponge, or you can go directly on here. So whichever you like. Now, I'm gonna sponge it out. So let's say you do this. You don't want to take this and apply on your nail immediately because there's a lot of gel. If you have a lot of gel on your sponge, when you sponge it, you're gonna squeeze all the gel out and it's gonna be splotchy. It's gonna be imperfect. So the trick is you have to have minimum amount of gel on here. So after I do this, I go over here and I have a few taps, and what I do is that I just releasing gel out in the palette. So there's not a lot of gel on my sponge. It's nice and airy. That's number one. Minimum amount of gel on your sponge. Number two is light pressure, because if you go really hard on it, it's just like when you mop in the floor, if you go really hard, it's gonna squeeze out all the waters. So go lightly. So it's like airbrush. It's nice and thin like airbrush. Now, from here, I'm gonna go in the middle like this. See, nice and thin. Very light pressure. See that? Give me a light, nice coat of pink and purple, because that is what is the color look like when they mix together. Pink and turquoise become purple. Now, at this point, you will want a flash dry. Here a couple of times and then go back. And if you want to tap more on the turquoise side, then when the sponge is like this, you can tilt it a little bit. So only the turquoise side is being distributed out. Okay. So the most important part is a radiant part right here, which you already see is already perfect. Now what's down here doesn't matter. What down here, you can take your colors and you can draw it on like this. You can draw turquoise on directly. See that? Because this is just a tip. You want the tip to be solid, so you can do this. See? beautiful. Now, taking out your ombre brush and just drag it up just a little bit. You can do that. You're allowed to do that. You don't go past the gradient part, just a little bit. Or you can take the sponge and blend it through like this. All you need to do is get rid of that little edge, which you applied in a very thin coat, so it should be no problem. See that? So what you worry about is the middle part. This middle part right here, where the pink and the turquoise blend together, that is very important and crucial. What down here, you can just brush it through. Now, cure this a little bit. Let me go ahead and make the tip a little thinner before I cure. One more thing. Since the surface is already been sugared, you will see sugar textures.
What do you cure in between?
Okay. Oh, that's an important question. Thank you for asking. So the reason why I cure in between is I want this layer froze so I can continue to sponge on top of it and the previous layer stays still for me. Now, if you don't cure in between, then what happens is you're just messing with wet gel. It's never stable. So you have a beautiful ombre and then you sponge it a second time, it's become ugly. And then you sponge it the third time, it's get a little beautiful again, and you sponge it the fourth time, it's become ugly again. So it's unstable. So the moment you have a beautiful layer of ombre, even though it's light and it needs more gel, as long as it's beautiful, you cure this. So your second layer, it doesn't mess with your first layers. That is one of the secrets to sponge ombre. I don't want to miss that part, so thank you for asking.
So it would be like mopping the floor, but never wringing out your mop, you're just pushing it around.
Right. You're just pushing wet gel around and you don't want that. So you want your first layer to be clear. Then when you do your second layer, you can mess with the second layer until it's perfect and it doesn't affect your first layer at all. So that is a very good thing to cure just a couple of seconds. You don't have to cure for a long time, just a couple of seconds. Now, another thing is the sugar texture right here. A lot of people, when they first started ombre, they got distracted with the sugar texture. And you gotta know that when the surface is sugar-like looking, when you put top coat on, it's gonna smooth it all out. So don't let this sugar texture distract you, and you can do that by tilting it down so the light doesn't reflect it. And check to see if your color is even. If your color is even, leave it alone. Now I am gonna do another layers because I want my ombre to be a little bit higher. Very light pressure. See how beautiful it is? All you need to focus on is the middle part. That's it. That's all you need to focus on is the middle part. Whatever down here, you can paint it through. Now, keep this. Here comes the question. So, how do you clean your ombre sponge? So, I'm taking out a paper towels. Now, with my sponge, I'm just sponging it on the paper towel because eventually there'll be no color left. See that? There's no color left. Even though your surface is staining still, but remember there's no gel color, so you can replace it with the different colors on. So what I am gonna do is I am gonna take turquoise and ultramarine. I'm gonna do 2 layer ombre. Pink and turquoise, and then turquoise and ultramarine. Now, since this already turquoise, I am gonna put ultramarine on the pink part. And I am putting turquoise exactly where it is. But usually when I'm finished with my ombre sponge, I just toss it because it's cheap enough for you to toss it. But if for those of you that want to reuse it, that is how you're reusing it. But I suggest only reuse it for a day. After the day is over, just toss it. After the day, you probably use it for like 4 or 5 different clients. You just toss it. Okay, see that? beautiful? You need to make sure that the middle part is all blendy like this. Nice and blendy. See that? So if there is an ombre on your sponge, there will be an ombre on your nail. Again, don't pass this part. You already done with this middle part right here. You need to work down here to add in another colors. See that? Beautiful. Now, see, it's beautiful already, but it needs a little more gel. It needs a little more ultramarine. Am I keep going? No, I killing this. Make sure I seal the deal. So now, my beautiful ombre stay there. Now, I'm going again with the second layer. And this second layer, it doesn't match with the beautiful first layer. See that? Here again, 1, 2. Sponge. Here again, 1, 2. There. You want to add a little more, but just on the blue. And tilting your sponge like this. And go in with the blue. See that? Until this day, gel ombre is still very difficult for most people because all they know how to do is using the brush and they don't even use proper gel. So this can change your nail game very fast. This can make you become very popular in your town because you produce a beautiful ombre. Then all you need is minimum amount of art on your nail and you're good to go. Now the second one is white ombre, which is easy, which is simple. Okay, so let's clean this part and we will move on to our white ombre using sponge. I did you before where you use ombre, white ombre using brush. Now it's white ombre using sponge. White ombre using brush, you need proper product. White ombre using sponge, you can use any product you want. You just need proper tool, which is an ombre sponge. So I'm gonna take this, apply pink on half the sponge. See, that's a lot of gel. I have to squeeze it out later. I cannot have a lot of gel on my brush or else it'll be splotchy. Putting white gel out. And people ask me a lot of why do you need to sugar the surface? Just imagine a slick floor, like a slick tile floor and a concrete driveway. If you mop the red one on a slick tile floor, it just splash around, but it doesn't stain the floor. Like if you mop your concrete driveway, the red one will soak up to the concrete driveway because it's porous. That is how you work with gels, is to make sure that your surface is porous enough so it can grab onto the gel very well. See that? A little more pink since it's semi-transparent. See that? How beautiful the ombre become. Make sure that you want to see an ombre. Now, going in, taking care of your middle part first. Nice and light. If it's splotchy, stop and go onto your palette, find a new area and squeeze all that gels out. You don't want to be splotchy. You want to be nice and airy like airbrush. I'm going to keep playing with it until it's beautiful. And the moment it's become beautiful and even, I am going to stop and flash cure it. See that? It's already a little beautiful. Stop. 1, 2, 3. Going back. Okay. Again. See that? Stop. 1, 2, 3. Now, whatever down here, you don't need a sponge. It needs to be solid. So you take out your gel colors and you brush it through just like this. A thin layer. so it doesn't become out of shape. Good. If you want, you can apply another layers. So you don't need one thick layer at all. You just need one thin layers. Take your ombre brush, nice and dry. You don't need anything in it, and you can drag it out just like this. See that? Drag it out. And on top of sugar surface, it is so easy. It is so easy because you don't have streak. Streak are only come from slick surface. But see, do you see any streak? There's no streak. It's perfect. It's beautiful. So your sugar surface is your friend. You just have to know how to produce a nice and even sugar surface. Again, going on, you see this edge? Let's make this edge beautiful by sponging this a little bit. Sure, it's beautiful. Lights, remember, very light pressure. Very light pressure. Will you look at that? That's your money right there. Here. Before I cure, let's take the ombre brush and make sure that the tip is nice and sharp. You can charge $5 for beautiful shape. Here. Thank you. All right, let's take it out to see if there's anything we need to add. It's already perfect. If you are a perfectionist, you can just keep playing with it until you're satisfied with yourself. But at this point, it's beautiful already. Actually, rotate it white up here and pink down here. Make sure you pay attention to your sponge. Okay. Nice and light. See, that's the reason why it's not splotchy. It's that it's nice and light. Very light pressure. Okay. Now you turn the nail down like this. Get rid of the light so you can see if your color is yet even. Okay. A bit more right here. There. Beautiful even color. Don't be distracted by this sugar surface. Here. Now, it is time for top coat. So you get to see how smooth the color is. I'm using matte. You can use shine if you like. Apply top coat on top. See, now it's all nice and level. You no longer see the sugar textures. This method is called sponge ombre methods, which I find sponge ombre more preferable than brush ombre because brush ombre are only for up and down ombre. Sponge ombre, you can do it any way you like. You can make little splotch of colors all over your nails. So you have more freedom with sponge ombre. Hear this. Okay, next is vertical ombre. This is going to be a fun one too, because until this day, people still have streak on the vertical ombre. So I am going to go through vertical ombre. So you know how to do it beautifully. The trick is on the product entirely and the motion of the brush. So let me finish top coat on this sponge ombre. Okay. And on this, I'm going to do stitch again. Different style on one of my live. But as you see here, brush ombre, sponge ombre, no different. It's all the same. Just different type of application. Just for certain people, one sponge ombre, and certain people, one brush ombre.
Would you use sugaring for ombres in smaller areas or just when doing the large portions on the nail?
For the sugaring, as long as I use the sponge right here, I would prefer to use sugar at any different style, not just up and down, not just on large area of the nail, but on smaller area of the nail too. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to sugar it every time you use the sponge. You can get away with the sugar. You can skip it as long as you're pro at this and you have been doing this for a while. You have been doing this for, let's say, 6 months. You know, you get used to your hand motion, your ombre come out perfectly. At that point, you know all the rules. You can now start breaking rules. So once in a while, I am still skipping my sugar layers, but at that point, my hand pressure is light enough that even with a slick surface, I still be able to produce a nice ombre. But for most beginner, sugar is your friend. It makes your life easier. The money, for your service, I would say that your sponge ombre will be equal to your brush ombre. I would charge $50 extra for my ombre service. I call that an ombre service. And if you have like you live in a cheap area, then $30. You live in an expensive area, then $80 for just a service, just the ombre alone, on top of the full set and the feel and everything. So that is how you can price it. It's from $30 to $80, depend on your area. Let's move on to a different type of ombre. Vertical ombre. So for this vertical ombre, I am going to use a gel pen instead of using gel polish. And my gel pen, it will help me with my vertical ombre because you don't want anything that are too liquidy. You want something that are semi-solid. I'm going to use blue art gel. I'm going to use orange art gels. I am going to use purple art gels and white art gel. I'm going to mix my own colors. Okay, I'm ready to mix. So let's make a periwinkle first, blue and purples. 50-50. That's it. There you go. Beautiful colors. This is, I will call it Provence lavenders. Now, blue and orange make a beige. And when my color come out, I will have a whole list of mixing color combo for you. So all you need to do is see the color and you will know what color will make that. And easy mixing, 50-50. A little more orange because the blue is stronger. So now I have my shell beige. I am going to lighten up that beige with white. It's just a little more orange to make it warmer. There you go. Mix that warmness into the blue, into the cold blue. Make it contrast. So now you see a beige. It's almost like a nude, but it's a beige. Now I have these two colors. Let's go ahead and paint. Okay. All right. Now, flat brush and ombre brush, that's all I'm gonna use. So, flat brush, paint this side purples. You don't have to have anything on the surface, just directly on top of acrylic or directly on base coat. Okay. Next, white up the brush, beige. Now, do not continue with the whole brush with color like this. No, no. Wipe it up. Are you ready for your vertical ombre? Wipe it up like this. Nice and clean brush. No top coat. The nail is already have gel on. Nothing on it. No top coat. No excess gel. A clean brush, okay? Now, but don't wash it with alcohol because it's gonna be fuzzy. No, a clean brush by just wiping the paper towel so it's nice and sharp like a knife. Now go in and wiggle, 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 wiggles. Use a clean palette to clean the colors. Going back in with a nice clean brush. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggles. Cleans. Wiggle, 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 wiggles. Clean. Wiggle, 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 wiggles. Clean. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. So you starting in with your wiggles. Wiggle, 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 wiggles. Wiggle, 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 wiggles. Wiggle, 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 wiggles. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggles. There. Now clean it. Clean it. Make sure it's always nice and clean. Let's cleanse it again. Nice and clean. Now, light stroke. You with this, if you use gel polish, by now it's streaky, it's splashy, it doesn't listen to you. Art gel listen to you, it stays there. It don't move. Now look. Nice light stroke. Remember, don't forget to clean your brush. You have to keep it nice and clean. Isn't life is perfect? But don't lower your price just because it's easy. Still, $50, $100, go for it. Up with the head. Now, keep on going. At this point, it just depends on if you're a perfectionist, then you can go back and forth. But light pressure, easy. I'm sure you tried to do a vertical ombre before when you keep stroking, and 30 minutes later, you're still on the first nail and sweat rolling down your forehead. Proper product. And remember the wiggles. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggles. And clean brush. There. Now life is easy. That's it. Now, before I end this vertical ombre, I want to show you a few more tricks. For stained glass gel, we need to mention about stained glass gels. So let's have stained glass gel out. Before all my wonderful nude polish, I rely on stained glass gel for my ombre. So this time I revisit my stained glass gel and show you what's the difference between stained glass gel and just polish. So I taken out blue number 7, yellow, highlight yellow number 1, and pink number 4. I'm gonna take it out. This is my ombre brush. There is nothing on it. All nice and clean. And remember, when your ombre brush is like not fine and even like this, right now it's pretty even. But if it not, if it stick together like this, like that. If it have like one big one right here, one big one on the other, you have to fray it out by using a clean palette and with a little gel, and you wiggle it. That's how it becomes nice and even again. See that? Nice and even again. But let's clean this ombre brush. Make sure it have no gel on it. Now, I am going on with a blue stained glass. This is just a little extra for you. I am gonna do 괱ᴱ on this background on one of my lives. The reason why I flip my client hand down because I prefer to ombre down instead of ombre up like this. Make me awkward. I don't want to be awkward, so I tell my client to flip her hand over to make me comfortable. So easy. Here. Now, why is that I use stained glass gel instead of gel polish? Because what's going on right now is I have two colors. One is Provence lavender and one is beige. Stained glass gel allow me to see both colors. If you use gel polish, you only see one color. So that's the difference between a good gel polish and stained glass gels. Going in with highlight yellow. See, you can see the yellow and you can see both color in the background. And stained glass gel is even more easy to ombre than a typical gel polish. Look at that. Life is perfect. Now, pink stained glass gel gone in. White ombre at the very edge. Kill this. And when you redo this, when you rewatching the live, it is best to start from start to finish and follow along with the live. So that is the best way to do it, is follow along and learn all different kind of ombre. Don't just do pick and choose. Just learn everything. Then later on you can pick and choose. It's important for you to know how to do everything. Now I am gonna shine this surface. Next, I am gonna teach you aura ombre. So aura ombre, if you don't have airbrush, this is a perfect method for you to do. I'm gonna teach you two methods: one using sponge, one using brush. Shine this. Look at that. Look how trippy it is. This is when people ask you, how do you do that? What polish do you use? I love that question. What polish do you use? And they doesn't know about stained glass gels. They doesn't know about gel painting. What polish do you use? This is when you upcharge. This is when it's become expensive. When it's tricky looking. When people doesn't know how to do it, that is when it become expensive. Okay, so it's the last ombre technique. It's aura ombre. And I'm gonna paint Harry Potter on aura ombre. Waiting for it to dry. So this is my second live. My first live is clear texture gels, my first product that I demo. My second live is gel ombre, which there is multiple product. There's sponge, there's brush, there's different type of gels. So next week I will teach you line work. So eventually I'm gonna go through all my product that I have, and each product will have its own lesson, detailed lesson with full explanation. And I will save it on my highlights so you can access it anytime you want.
And put what products they're going to need.
Yes. Yes, it will be all provided in the live. And under the caption of the live, and then I will save it and highlight. All your information will be there. Now, let's go ahead and do some aura ombre. So I have one black, one brown. Let's start with the brown first. So before we start our aura ombre, let's go over one stroke ombre. Just for you to know about that too. I did this on a purple Halloween set last year, and it's go viral last year. So I'm gonna teach you how to do aura ombre now. So you will need black, preferably art gels, and you will need matte top coat. So you put matte down. With black, I'm gonna paint from the cuticle down to about right here. From the tip up to about right here. This is black art gel. Now, clean this. I have been some blacks out. Then, let's zoom in. Half of the brush will be in black. One on this side. One on the other side. Make sure the black take half of the product. Now, I need more top coat actually. Get a new matte top coat. Okay. Again, this is matte top coat. Half will be matte. The other half will be matte also. Then you go straight. You brush it. You want half black, half matte. There. See that? Now going in. Do stroke to make sure you cover everything first. Now, if this right here is too black right here, that means you need to go over with a little matte. Because the black is overpowering the matte side. Again, give it a nice stroke. Okay. Turn over. Same thing on here. Stroke it over. Now, sometimes it might be challenging if the nail is too curvy, like a C curve, because you're not drawing on a flat surface. You have to go up and then go down. it will have extreme C curve. That's why I do in bit and pieces like that. That's why I do in stroke like this to make sure it's all covered, and then I went over it again. Going up, going down. Okay, now when it's over, let's check to see here on the edge. I erase a little bit on the edge right here. Okay, here it is. Now, that is just a little extra on the cuticle and on the tips. I am going to use a clean sponge now, and I am going to erase my surface and start to use aura sponging technique. So for aura sponging technique, I am going to use a liquid gel. This is a gel polish. It's no longer a gel paint. I will take out some white gel, and with a clean sponge, I'm going to go ahead and submerge my sponge. And then I am going to squeeze it out to make sure that there is a very light layer on top. I don't want a lot. So make sure that's very light layers like this. It's very light. Make sure to tilt your sponge at every angle to make sure it's cover all angles. Like that. Very light layers. With this, you're going to go in. Now remember that the surface of this is matte. I have pre-put matte on top of this brown to make sure that everything is nice and dry. Now, this is the good way to practice your hand pressure because you need light pressure for this. You don't need a lot of pressure, very light pressure. And if you see any big splotchiness going on, that's when you have too much gel on the surface. So again, with a clean surface, go back and vigorously stroke to squeeze out all the gels. So now it's nice and airy. You don't want too much gel on the surface, minimum amount of gel. Very light. Just like makeup, very light pressure. Up here, very light too. All right, now cuties. So again, you're gonna sponge it, but this time in the middle, you can pick up a little more gel now. Still lighten up just a little bit. Just here for a little bit and going in. Now this time you're gonna stay right in the middle. Make sure you don't pass this layer all around it. Make sure you stay in the center. Keep the center nice and bright. Here, pick up a little more gels. Stay in the center. Remember, very light pressure on your hand. Now that is a sponge aura technique. Next, I am gonna teach you a brush aura technique. So on sponge aura technique, you can do it on matte colors, but what if you have like a chrome surface, a shiny chrome surface, for that I'm gonna teach you a second technique so you can choose either to use a sponge or to use brush. So second technique, I am gonna use milky. This is what I am gonna use to do brush technique on aura. So before I do that, let me go ahead and boot Chrome base and then Chrome this. Because I am going to do Harry Potter on this surface. So I want to make sure it's nice and chromy. Little black right here. You can add a little black right here. But I don't need to because it's going to be chrome. Here this. Then I am going to use orange mermaid chrome. Your lens roller. Take up excess chrome. Okay, 7 seconds. All right, now let's go ahead and put chrome on this. All over the nails. And after you completely cover the nail, go back one more time. This is chrome base right underneath it. That's it over. If you wear glove, you can go over with your glove just to make sure that all the excess chrome it does up. If you have any little bit of chrome on the surface that you couldn't see, but you don't dust it thoroughly, when you put top coat on, it will flow up to the surface and it will make it very glittery. So make sure that it's completely dust off. Now, this black nail, I put chrome base yesterday and I cured it. I want to take the opportunity to see if it stick on or not, because sometimes if it been cured for too long, it doesn't stick. So let's see if it stick. So there's no expiration time for chrome base. Chrome base right here. It's 24-hour cure already. I cured it and then just leave it for 24 hours and go back and it still can stick on some chrome. So in this step, you don't have to be hurry when you put on chrome base. You can put chrome base on all 10 fingers because it did not expire. The inhibition layer of chrome base is allow you to stick on chrome even after 24 hours. Make sure everything structures nicely. All right. Now, let's go ahead and protect this with one coat of chrome base or shine it, whichever you choose. And then we will brush the aura ombre on top. So where's my chrome base? Over here. Apply chrome base on. Now, when you're stroking over chrome, one of the tricks not to bleed your chrome or even with pigment is when you stroke it, go nice and slow with light pressure and go slow, because if you go too fast, then the gel doesn't have time to soak up on the surface completely, and that will be missing spot and you have to stroke on it again and again. So you don't want that. You go slow so your gel have time to adhere on the surface completely. Cute this. And if you have problem with chrome chipping, remember to put 1 coat of sticky before you put top coat on. 1 coat sticky and cure it for 60 seconds. Then you can go ahead and put top coat on and cure it for 60 seconds. All right, let's use milky. Milky colors is 50% ratio. So the opacity is 50%. And it's best for highlighting also. It's my favorite gel for highlighting character or portrait to make certain part of the art look more raised than the others. And you can even overlap it for brighten it up. So for aura, let's start with 1 coat of milky. Just 10 coats. And then on the side, same on the side. Becky, can you turn your hand over for me, please? Thank you. Now on the other side. Just like that. Here. Let's do 3 coats. But I don't have to wait for it if I do 10 nails. Because the other hand is here. I can do this hand. This right hand and right hand here. I can do the left hand. But that's one thing about doing 1 nail is you have to wait for it. Okay, let's just partially get it and go over it again. Put 1 more coat. This time you can do it a little smaller so it can stay in the centers. So whichever you like, sponge or brush. Some people like sponge. Becky, can you hand over, please? Thank you. And brush. Some people like brush. So it depends on a person. Depend on if you're a sponge person or a brush person. Yeah. You can keep on going. Just whenever you're satisfied with it. And this milky right here, if you use transparent gel before, you know that sometimes there's streak on the surface. This milky doesn't have streak at all, so it's heaven. That's why I have paused in it for a while when my milk top coat come out, because I want to come out with a better milk top coat. This time it's not a top coat because my milk top coat cannot hear chrome. Right now I only have chrome base, so you doesn't really need an ingredient that here chrome. I want my milky that here pigments. So this milky right here, it cannot hear pigments. Oh. Another one, please. It's fun when you already know all your technique, you memorize it all, you can do nails and chit chat with your client. You don't have to be stressed. It should be a stress-free environment. That's why I'm so adamant on you to learn your homework, because you don't want to hold in your client hand and have to figure out what to do. You need to know how to do everything. So when you with your client, you can drink champagne, you can even, talk about boys, even do each other hairs after you do your nails. You know what I mean? So you don't have to be stressed. It have to be a stress-free environment. A little bit of milk right here. All right, everyone. Get your question ready. Because I only give you 5 minutes.
4.
Get your question ready. Okay, doesn't have you screenshot any question.
I have.
I am ready.
Probably answer some of them. Okay, Sharna said, would you... Oh, wait, we answered that one.
Another one.
We answered that one.
Oh, see, my life is very organized.
Okay, Aunt Deb, at the very beginning, said, won't cream hide the white?
Wouldn't cream hide the white? Okay.
The very first one.
Cream nude right here. Wouldn't cream hide the white? Is that her question is?
You know what, though? We'll explain that to her later on.
Okay.
Where are you located? Springfield, Missouri. Do you ship your products to Africa? Yes, we do.
Yes, we ship
worldwide. Where do we buy press-ons? He does not sell press-ons, but you can follow some of the people and watch Tino's storyline for the Top by Tino family. They do a lot of recreations.
That's why I don't answer question in the middle of the live. Do you see this random question? It will confuse you. That's why this big live right here, I answer question at the end because it's organized live. So later on when you rewatch it, it's nice and clear. You will have no problem. As long as you watch from start to end, you will be supplied with all the material you need.
Because that doesn't distract you from, and some of it's my fault.
Right.
I also noticed that a lot of people, there's a lot more viewers today. That means they absolutely hate me. That's fine. That's fine.
Go ahead.
There you go. Quay Hollywood has a lot of questions earlier. So why start with the middle for a sponge ombre?
For the sponge ombre. Got it. All right. So for sponge ombre, the important part right here is the middle. I'm just starting low middle first. You don't have to. You can just start painting the tip immediately. But then you have to brush it on. And of course, it's not going to be pretty. And then you have to try to like make that edge perfect. So I want to start with perfection. I want to start with the middle to have a nice blend. Then this right here down the bottom, second priority. It's not first priority. I struck some color in. And I already have this nice ombre part as a guide. So I know not to cross the line. I know not to paint and using the brush and brush it up here. I see the pink and the turquoise beautiful blend right here. I stay out of it. Down here, I just put a little color and I just brush a little bit right here. But not to pass it. So this right here is a guide. This right here is everything that you have to focus on is the middle part, the blend. That's the most important. That's why I just choose to prep it out with a blend first. So I start out with perfection. Then it's in my mind easier for me. You can do both ways and see which one you're comfortable with. Would you rather do the color first or you do the blend first? Go ahead.
When will the new color polishes be online?
I already sent all the information to Cindy. And she in Florida right now with her grandchildren. She will try to squeeze work in between. It could be tomorrow or it could be the day after tomorrow, but as soon as she can. And then each color gonna have combination for you, like different combo. Like if I have, let's say, pink. Okay, so you on the website, you click on pink, you will see the combination of like it will have a main picture, pink polish, but then it will have 11 picture after it. It will have pink mixed with yellow, pinks mixed with blue, pinks mixed with purple. So you supply with all the color combination that pink can do. And then on the bundle, I'm not done yet, but I am gonna take picture of a whole list of 144 colors, so you can have that as a charge. Color charge.
What is a good way to transition between sponge ombre with acrylic powder and without?
Ask the question again. Re-ask it.
I just accidentally tapped the wrong screen and it clicked me out and I lost it. I think basically she said, how do we transition from sponge?
Uh-huh.
Quite ask that again. My thumb.
For vertical ombre, why you a flat brush instead of using an ombre brush to blend? Nice question. Okay, an ombre brush is to blend down. So let me show you. This is what an ombre brush do, because the hair right here is weakest. So when you drag it, you see if you a flat brush and I drag it out, it's gonna dig a hole in my gel like this. If I take a flat brush and I drag it down, it's gonna dig a big hole. Versus if I take an ombre brush and drag it down, it's weaker, so it's gonna blend out easier for me. But that is blending down, a dragging down motion. Now for vertical ombre, let me see. Let me have some white right here. So for a vertical ombre, if I use an ombre brush, I most likely will end up with streak, because this is not what it's made for. It don't make to blend like this. This is what the flat brush are made for. A flat brush are made to be solid. And when you combine with art gel doesn't move. It's not liquidy like polish. So art gel stay there. It grab its claw into the foundation, and then the flat brush just nicely stroke it. This is not art gel. This is polish. So with polish, you can easily remove everything, because it's liquidy. You can remove all the color. With art gel, it's hard to remove all the color because it's thicker. So a combination of art gel and flat brush is built for vertical ombre. Go ahead.
So, are your gels HEMA-free?
Yes, it is HEMA-free.
And then, he says, so I'm just trying to know what is a good way to move from using acrylic powder in a sponge ombre to working with just the sponge and polish.
But basically, she don't want to use the sugar.
She's not wanting the sugar for some reason.
Got it. If you want to skip the sugar part, then what you require is a light hand, because now you are end up with a slick surface. If you have heavy-handed, it's gonna splash all over the surface like water. It's gonna be flashy and splotchy. So you need minimal amount of gel on your sponge, and you need an incredible light hands. You barely touch the surface. So there only a light layer of gel polish laying on the top of your nails, so it's not splotchy. So if you want to skip the sugar part, that is what you require, because what sugar does is that it have tiny little hole on the surface. So sometimes even with a little heavy-handed, what happens is the surface is soak up all the gel, so it doesn't splash. It's not messy, it's not splashy. It just soak it all up like dirt. When you pour water over dirt, it soak it all up. That's what the sugar surface is for. So without the sugar surface, you have to rely on your hand pressure. Be extra light on your hand pressure.
What if you buff the surface?
If you buff the surface, it will get a little better, but like 1/10 better. It will not do anything, because if you buff the surface is still smooth. It's just now matte, but it's not slippery anymore, but it's still smooth. And the purpose of the sugar surface is not because of its madness. The madness. The surface of the sugar, the purpose of the sugar surface is for it to soak up all the gel. So it have to have a little hole in it for it to soak it up. So a nail that you just matte is still nice and smooth. It's not porous enough. There will be nothing to soak up the gel. It's still gonna be laying on the surface. So at that point,
you're gonna have dust that could possibly contaminate a little bit.
Yes. So you can totally skip the sugar surface. You have to be extra careful with your technique. That is for pro. When I first started out, I always sugar my surface. I doing it for a few months, and then one day I was just lazy. I don't want to sugar surface, and I do it. It's a tiny bit more difficult, but at that point I already pro with my hand pressure, so I can get by with it. So I spent the next 2 months just doing it without sugar, and eventually I going back to sugar, because in a day that I don't want to focus much, then I sugar it to make my life easier.
How do you clean your sponge?
For cleaning the sponge again, as we cover on the first lesson, this sponge right here, I'm gonna have some color sponge. This sponge right here, you just take a paper towel and you just sponge it on the paper towel, and eventually you run out of colors. Eventually you run out of colors. And when you run out of colors, make sure on the edge is clean too. Even if there is a little stain right here, there's no gel at all. So what you can do, you can replace it with another colors. But at the end of the day, you should just toss it. Sometimes I start immediately after a client. But if you want to reuse like 4 or 5 clients, you can do that. But at the end of the day, you should toss it, because if you leave it for the next day, it might get a little dry. The gel might get a little dry. And if the gel is dry, then when you mess with wet gel, what happened is the dry gel, it will flake out and will have a little crumb on the gel. It will be messy. So my recommendation, if you choose to reuse your sponge, only use it in 1 day.
Okay. Normally I wouldn't answer this except for, Quay said, the last question.
The last question.
Ever. So we can be done with her forever. Okay, last question. When using stained glass gel for the ombre, do you recommend going straight onto the nail or a base coat like nude or white?
Okay, when you use stained glass gel, if you're working on a manicure or pedicure, then you use base coat. If you're working on acrylic, you go straight on. You don't need nude before that, because it's literally half and half like this. Like this. Let's pretend that this is stained glass gel. You just go on with pink stained glass gel and you're gonna with nude, unless you want a base color for whatever reason, because when pink go on top of nude is different. If you put white first and you put pink on, then it's brighter. So you only pre-apply another color if you want to change the color of stained glass. Like, let's say if my base is chrome, if I put some chrome base on, and then I chrome it like unicorn chrome, and then I put top coat on, and then I put stained glass on just half the nails, then my pink stained glass gonna be beautiful chromey, because the background is chromey. So I ombre it up, and then half the nail I'm gonna use nude. So you only remember, stained glass is built to show background color. So whatever background you have on is for color purpose, not for ombre purpose. So you can use it without any nude or anything behind it.
Did that explain it, Quay?
Okay.
Yeah, she should have got it. It looks like you are officially answered questions and done.
Okay. It's all question and answers.
Seems like
Okay.
it seems so.
All right. So I'm gonna save this now. On my live, I'm thinking pink jungles. I'm gonna do like a pink python, pink cheetahs, and then these I don't know yet. It's elegant still, so I might just leave it. Stitch on here, some coconut trees, Harry Potter's. I want to do a Harry Potter nails on this background, and here Dexter Laboratories. So I have all my background colors ready. All right.
Oh,
You're
Tara,
welcome.
Go
ahead, Tara.
Can Tino go over dark or light colors, ombre, over each other for everyone? I think it's the only thing he didn't cover.
Okay, dark or light ombre. So when I ombre a colors, if my color is too dark or too light, what I'm gonna use is a sponging technique. Because as I say, for you to use a brushing technique like this, what happened is you have to have proper product, meaning if this on top is a black, it will never work. If this on top is too light or too dark, meaning or the opacity of the colors, your brush will never work. For this, I only prefer when I use nude or when I use like a neutral color like milk. So it's limited on colors. And I say the product you choose has to be correct for you to use brush ombre. But when it comes to color complication, like too dark or too light, that is when you dive into sponging. Because as I say, sponging, you can deal with any color. Is that answer Tara's question?
I think, yes.
Sponging, you can do dark color and light color together. You can use pink and green together, contrast color. You can use weird colors because sponging is very forgiving. As long as the color on the sponge is blend, the color on your nail will be blend. That's as simple. But up here, when you do brush, you only mess with semi-transparent color that are easy to blend. If I take black and blend over pink, it will not work. If I use pink and black, it have to be a sponging technique.
Yes, Tara said, thank you. Perfect.
Okay. Any more?
But I'm not too sure if Koi didn't just trick us because Koi said, Tara has a question, right after she said,
right. Greedy king.
Right.
Oh, I want one more question. Right. Fine, you have let's give it a minute.
And then when you said 5 minutes, I was like, not that I'm keeping track, but 12 and a half minutes.
And I hope you guys like my background today. I feel girly today, so this is a pukey pink that I choose out for you guys.
Where can I get the sponge for my finger? I only seen one in pin form.
For sponge, what you go on 꽱ᴱᴜᴜᴜᴜ, and then the categories that you click on is essential. So in essential category, you find the ombre sponge. Or you can just put on the search bar ombre sponge and you find it. On 꽱ᴱᴜᴜᴜᴜ. More questions?
No, I think that's it.
What? That's it?
Trending 1664. He has done several Barbie nails, including Barbie and Tupac.
And I still have one more to post. I have so many Barbie. If you are my usual live stream client, did I just say client?
You did.
If you are my usual live stream viewer,
send money now.
I'm everywhere. It's your job to keep up with me because I'm in Instagram, this is 괲ᴜᴜᴜ. I'm in Instagram, 꽱ᴜᴜᴜshop to do live lesson, but not on technique like this. On 꽱ᴜᴜᴜshop, I do different nail set. Like these, I'm going to do all different nail set in 꽱ᴜᴜᴜshop Monday. And then Friday, next Friday, I'm going to also do different nail set. So in my nail set, it's different. I'm stopping in the middle to chit chat with you guys. Sometimes we just talk about random stuff. So it's more loose. But what happened is on those live, I use multiple technique, multiple products. It could be ombre and clear texture gel and emboss and chrome and portrait painting all in the same live stream. But this live stream right here is organized. It's only focused on gel ombre. So whenever you have question about gel ombre or you just a beginner and you first started and you don't know how to do gel ombre, you go onto my story highlight on 괲ᴜᴜ and there you will see gel ombre right there. You click on it and this is the first live. Later on, if I have another gel ombre live, I will put it in the same highlight. So you can view it anytime you want.
I've seen you use a hand flash cure lamp to do artwork. How long before you cure fully, please?
If you use a hand flash cure, you only need about 2 or 3 seconds. Usually I only use 2 seconds, but you have to be careful what you're curing. For polish or gel paint, you should cure for at least 10 seconds. At that point, you don't need a flash cure. You just tell your client to put that hand in and you work on the other hand. Because if you flash cure it too fast, you might have wrinkling problem. Now, what you use flash cure friendly stained glass gel. Stained glass gel is clear. Any clear gels, any top coats, or on the sugar surface. Now, on the sugar surface, the reason why you can flash cure polish and gel paint is that, remember, the sugar already soak up all your gel, so there'll be no wrinkle. It's wrinkle-free environment. So you can literally do 10 different layers would only flash clear, and that'll be fun because it's so nice and thin, it's so airy. And then after you done all that, you flash, you go ahead and full clear for 60 seconds on LED light. Any question?
And it looks pretty. So far, just a bunch of compliments and lots of thank yous.
This live is for you. You can watch it anytime you want. After this, I will save it to my highlight. And this is our second big live. Our first live, it was a little boring because it's my first time doing big live, but this is the second one. Next week, I will do land work. Land work will require several lives because I need to break it down to several things. First in land work is material. So I need to cover brushes. I need to cover what type of gel you use, how to practice it. I need to cover how to lock your hand, your breathing. Very crucial on land work. So the two brushes I use a liner brush. And eventually I will cover all my brushes. Today's brush is ombre and flat brush. Eventually I will have all my brush ready. So that's next week my plan. And then we will, the week after that, probably be pigment lesson.
Hello, Tanya. She missed everything. Come straggling in.
Hi, Tanya.
Let me give out a special thanks, as everybody else should, for Tara, the Ancient Nail Tech, doing this out of the kindness of her heart. Thank you very much. We truly appreciate everything you do for us. And we love you. All right.
Is everybody say they love Tara?
Get out of here.
Everybody's better thanks Tara.
They have all the way through. Okay. Well, except for those two people there and that other one. But I blocked them, so don't worry. They're not even here no more. They're not even going to get a chance.
Good.
So
out with the head.
All right. Love, peace, and happiness.
All right. We are getting out of here, and I will save it right after this. Bye-bye, you guys. And see you Monday.